So digital history, put really simply, is just about using digital media to make sense of the past. So technology, new technologies are rapidly transforming what the historical process means for historians, and each stage of that process of making sense of the past is changing. From locating materials that can now be found online through to different ways to conduct analysis of those materials in new and creative ways using technologies, and then through to how we present that public and disseminate it out into the world. There's all new ways and different ways to do that now. So what's been happening basically over the last 20 years in history is that archival bodies and teams of historians who are interested in common research problems or shared research problems have actually been thinking of the ways that they can use these technologies to make the historical materials that we all use more accessible both to themselves as researchers and also to the general public. So, for instance, one of the projects that I've worked on in the past was the Prosecution Project, which was about investigating the history of the criminal trial in Australia by undertaking the digitisation of the records of the Australian Supreme Courts across the different states from periods covering the 1820s right through to the 1960s. And what we're then able to do with that data is analyse questions ranging from what the role of legal aid and how the introduction of that in the early 20th century across the different states impacted on trial outcomes for indigent accused, through to how race and gender influences trial process and how that's affected by historical circumstances. So leading on from that digitisation of those Supreme Court records, what then has been made available to the public is an online site where community members, other researchers are able to go on, search these historical trial records by offender name, by place, by crime type, see what has happened in terms of the details of those cases through links to newspaper articles and the Trove Digital Database, another great digital history resource. And then as well, they can do more sophisticated types of analyses to see how those individual cases fit into a wider whole by going to the visualised statistics function, which enables them to generate charts and graphs to see how offences, verdicts, sentences have changed across time.